Hey everybody, it's Mountain Mike. Thanks for joining me on the mountain. I appreciate you checking in, see what's going on today. Today, we're going to try to squaring this thing up and putting some boards on it so we can get the sawmill bed assembly on top, leveled and tightened, and then we can put the carriage on it and get the sawing wood. I can't wait. I'm excited about it. So, today, I'm gonna drive some T-post around this thing and find my square. Man, I tell you what, all the obstacles in the way really slow things down. But that's life, you know. That's life out on the mountain. That's how it is. And you just take it one day at a time. So we're gonna take it one day at a time. Today we're gonna go ahead and take this unsquared thing and try to make it a little square. So let's get started. So I can see my furthest one is too far in because this is my proudest point right here in this side of it. So I'm definitely going to have to bring that one out a little bit. But we're going to run a string and we're just going to move them around a little bit. All right, so we got our string run. And I think that's going to be pretty much the edge we're going to go with. I think that's going to give me what I need right there. It's just barely touching the edge on the outermost or proudest point. Let me see. Get in there. Oh, there I am. Right there. So we're just barely touching the frame there, and everything else beyond that is sucked in out of square on the frame. So I think this is looking good. So I'm really liking this edge. It looks good with the string laid out. We're going to use this edge as our square. I think this is going to work for us. So I think we're going to go ahead and try to square the rest of it out. Well, that's rough 9 foot 3/4. Let's see what the other side measures. Okay, so we got the other side kind of set up. This is all just rough, you know. We're not trying to be exact here. We're just going to get a rough squareness. Again, I ain't building a house, so let's try it. We're going to measure from side to side here how out of whack these two sides are now. Honestly, it's not near as bad as I thought it would be. I think this is pretty close. We got room for adjustment. It's not perfect. It gets pretty gappy right here and down there past that real big bend. Use something good like a 2x6. I'm going to be fine on this. It's not going to be an issue. So I think I'm going to go get some wood. All right, we're back at my wood stack here and checking out and seeing what I got. I don't have a whole lot to choose from here, and what I got is it's pretty rough, but it'll do the job. So let's get some pieces picked out. After all that, I forgot my extension cord. Alright, got my extension cord now. Got my supplies. Let's get started. Okay, so I've got a pretty beat up section right here. It's pretty bent up. It's got a pretty big bow in the top of it right there. I'm gonna take a sledgehammer and try to whack that back into place because my boards aren't laying real good on it. So let's see what we can do. All right, that looks a little better. Let's see if we can get a few boards on it. So evidently my boards are a little thick for my screws. I've got 2.5 inch screws, but they're not going all the way through and tapping like they should. They're self-tapping 2.5 inch. Not working. So I'm gonna have to inset the head of the screw to make this work. All right, got me a spade bit. Let's go give it a try. All right, so just a few screws in that, and that firmed up real nice. That's great. So we're gonna go ahead and run the entire edge of this so we have a straight edge to work off of. So we have a couple of boards on, and when you have an organic project, problems occur. Minor problem, but they welded right here. It's a big old high hump. All these little plates aren't bothering me for these cross beams, but this one here is causing me some issues. I went and got a chisel and a hammer, and I'm going to notch out the board versus grind this down. I just think it'll be faster and easier. You can see it causes my board quite a bit of issue there. I wanted y'all to see that edge. That is pretty nice. I walked along it. It's nice and sturdy. Okay, now I've got my edge, and I can square everything else from this. I've got me a straight edge. It's looking good. Screw sucked it down real nice, so it feels real solid. We're going to go ahead and go to the other side, get it done, and then we'll put some in the middle. Then we'll be ready to lay our floorboards, and I can't wait to get this done. Let's do it. Alright, so I got my boards laid out on my second edge. Now I'm just going to take a measurement across and make sure my front and rear match in measurement, and that's pretty much going to keep me square. I mean, I'm already on something that's halfway square. I know, halfway square. So then we'll have a square on both sides, and then on the ends we can square those up, chalk line them, and cut them off, and everything is going to look great. So everything's going really good right now. I'm really happy with this. It's going along nicely. We still got a lot of work to do, and I've used up most of the day today moving supplies and tools over here and walking back and forth for all the things that I have forgotten, which happens a lot. $104 3/4. That's what we are wide. What's going on, everybody? It's Mountain Mike. Thanks for joining me on the mountain. Today we're back at it. We had to take a few days off, get some new batteries for the camera. We were having some issues with the camera. But today we are back at it. We're going to lay some boards on this floor. So I've got me a few more loaded up. We're going to take them over there to the Sawmill location and slap them down. Then we'll assess the 1x I have and see about laying some 1x on top of all that. Have a nice, good, hardy floor. Alright, so we arrived at the Sawmill location. Let's get unloaded and get started. I think everything's going to go real quick and smooth. We just need to get on it and do it. So let's get to it. So when we left off the other day, we were at 104 3/4 wide, and we're going to go ahead and screw all these boards down, get them pre-drilled and screwed down, and then we'll have our edge in place, both edges in place. Alright, well this last little bit, this one right here, it got me out to about 18 feet. So I'm going to have to go a little further to get my 20, a little plus of 20, but that's alright. We're going to keep laying boards on there, and man, we're getting her whooped, so let's keep after it. All right, now we got some boards on there. We got at least 20 foot. We got more than 20 feet. We're ready to go get some 1-bys and throw them across there. We got to get our sawmill going. We got to get to earning money. We got to recoup some of the cost of the sawmill. We are out a considerable sum just trying to get this going. I can't wait to get started. I want to make it a good business. Let's keep going. I'm going to go get me some 1-by and start covering this deck up. It's going to be awesome to see all the deck covered up and the sawmill go on it. Now we're going to fire up the generator and go ahead and cut this edge and start screwing some boards down. I had some cut ends of 1-by that I had from various projects left over from building the shop, and I've got it stacked over there on the tractor. I brought those over because of my boards being just shy of the width of my structure. I'm going to be staggering, which I should be doing anyway. So we're going to just use those end pieces down there so I don't end up burning a bunch of the long boards making up for the short pieces. I've already got a bunch. So let's go forward. Let's get some ends cut and some boards screwed. Now that ain't half bad right there. Now we're going to do that a bunch more times and lay this floor out. Okay, I got my edges cut and I'm a sweaty mess. It is hot out here today, but we're making progress. Victory at last. We've got about 22.5 feet here. It's not quite enough, not quite what I would need, but time permitting, we're going to go forward. Go ahead and get the sawmill assembled on here, and then when we have time we'll deck the rest of this and move the sawmill around a little bit to our liking. But for now we're going to make this work just so we can get to sawing. I'm anxious to get this sawmill together and out of the boxes and out of my shop. I'm really excited. This is a big step. So for today, I'm calling it quits. This is as good as it gets today on this project. Definitely room for improvement. She's not the prettiest girl at the dance, but I bet she'll take you around the floor. So we're gonna go forward tomorrow in the sawmill assembly, get the bed over here, and on top, we're going to level and straighten and tighten everything down and get it where we want it. And then we can go ahead with the assembly of the sawmill carriage. I can't wait. I'm so excited to saw some boards. It's been such a build up to this point and a big to-do. It doesn't come easy, these sawmills, and you better have a plan if you're going to order one. I guarantee you. I thought I had a plan. This trailer house frame definitely threw a monkey wrench in my plans and has prolonged the project more than I would like. But sometimes when you prolong a project, things turn about and make it better. I do believe this project turned out to be much better than I ever anticipated. I anticipated walking around in the mud and the rocks and the dirt. Not really where I wanted to be sawing wood. Not that it has to be perfect, but you definitely want as stable as a location to walk back and forth on. It's just safer that way, and it doesn't wear you out as much. So I think in the long run this is going to be great, and we can build around it. It's not ideal. It's not exactly how I'd like it. Maybe at some point we'll cut some hardwood and replace all this pine, but for today I think it's going to work out great. Well, thanks for joining me. I'm Mountain Mike, out on the mountain. I appreciate you joining me and checking in and see what's going on. Till next time.